Okay, we're back here at RefTec. We've done the evacuation of this unit and the hoses so that we're ready to process refrigerant. One of the things I would talk about first up is that I have page 14 out of the manual, and we're going to follow this pretty much by the numbers. But if you're ever in doubt, go back to the manual. The manual's got a step-by-step operation on where to go. So we're going to go through this because there's a number of valves we want to make sure are open, a couple of issues we want to take care of. So we're going to start from the very beginning. There is a number 24 valve, which is on the back of this. The very first step in this liquid mode recycle is to make sure that valve number 24, it's down inside here. Not really a good reason for it to be closed, but just make sure that's open. That's the very first step. Step number 2, we've got our power cord. We're connected with our power cord, and we have, obviously here, we have the main power on. So the power cord is connected to your supply of power, and the power is on. The other thing is that verify the high pressure refrigerant hoses are connected, and the inlet and the outlet, which we have. And like I said, one of the things I was taught years ago is that when you think about processing, it's just a good practice to follow it with your hands. So we're going to start here, and this is going to be the outlet of the AC system or tank with dirty refrigerant in it. So we're going to come out here, we're going to follow this around into the inlet. This is valve number 1, that's where it goes in. We want to make sure that this is in the normal mode. The de-inventory is closed here. The outlet valve is open. The outlet here is open all the way back. We're going to open that one destination valve once we get the machine started. But so from end to end, we can see that if we open this valve, refrigerant liquid will be free to travel into the machine and be processed. The next step that we talk about is a float switch. This isn't the exact switch it would be in a half ton, but it's exactly like it would be. So if what we do here, underneath here, is a hookup where we would put in a float switch connection, and we would put that in this destination tank. So if there is a float switch in your destination tank, what would happen is when this vessel becomes 80% full, this would float and it would turn off the compressor so that we don't put more than 80% in this vessel. But today we don't have that. So the other option is that you would make sure with scales that we know that tank in particular is empty and that we only have a couple 100 pounds of gas to put in there. So today we're sure that we can't overfill that destination tank. But that becomes your responsibility. If you don't have a 80% full float, then you should make sure that you've calculated that there's room for the gas to get in that tank, never being more than 80% full. One of the things we're going to have to do when we look at the switches on the side here, there is a tank float bypass. If we're not going to use that float to get this system to work without the float, we're going to have to turn on the bypass. And that's the way we're going to start the process when we're ready to go. So the other thing, the next vessel valve to be open is right here. Step number 6 from our manual, valve 12A and 12B. This is letting gas into the pressure vessel or the still. So those are going to be open. Come over here on the other side. Step number 7 here says make sure that 14 and 15 are open. This is the inlet line, the hose end, and going into the vessels, 14 and 15. Open both valves on the outlet, which would be 18 and 19. We're going to make sure that that is open all the way into our tank as soon as we get the machine started. One thing it reiterates here, the mode valve is in de-inventory. It's not in de-inventory. It's in the normal. That's valve number 4. Make sure it's in the normal position, which is straight up. This mode, evacuation mode, it would be also in normal, which is straight down. So that's valve 3 and 4. We're going to open the liquid valve on the destination tank. Here's where we get started. Step number 14 says open the source tank valve. So this is when we would open this. We're allowing refrigerant to come into the machine. Think about following it through. It's going to go through here, through the inlet valve number 1. We're all set. So now we're going to turn, the main power is on. And like I told you before, because we're not using the tank float, this will be what starts our machine. Next thing I want to talk about is what would we monitor? If we're watching the machine run, we're going to monitor the gauges as it runs. just to see what's going on. So, quite honestly, the inlet pressure over here has dropped down. There's not a lot of gas in that, but the vessel where we're distilling the gas, it's about 40 pounds pressure. We now have this one adjusted to about 25, because if you can see, maybe we want 30 pounds of suction pressure. We can adjust it, we can raise it up. This valve right here, if I want it to be higher, I turn it in. If I want it to be lower, I turn it out. It's pretty adjustable. So that sets the pace that the process is going to happen at. So the other would be the outlet pressure. That depends on the ambient temperature. This room's 85 degrees. That's pretty normal for 134 at this temperature. So the process is all steady. The other things we might check while we're at it, we'd come over and look at the compressor, see if we can see the oil level in the compressor. Well, the oil level in the compressor looks a little bit high right this minute, but it's not bad. We're going to let it run for a while and see if it settles in. But it's a little bit high right this minute. Sean, you might come over and look in the still here. You could also look in here and you can actually see the refrigerant being distilled. We'd never want this to go more than about halfway up. Just a way to see what's going on in the system.
We're going to continue to monitor this machine as it processes for around 30 minutes. And then once it's finished, we'll come back in another video to show you what we'll do for the next step of processing.